And that might be someone that you're talking about marriage with, or you might be in a relationship with in some sense. And he goes, but it also might be people who just give you energy when you're on the job or you're doing something that you enjoy. So we'll take a page from Dear Arthur, and the question for discussion, you can just turn to the people who are near you to ask yourself the same question tonight, and we'll take some time in a little small group discussion and say, if you could do anything tomorrow, what would that be? Let me take it a step further and say that when I say if you could do anything tomorrow, what I'm really asking is, how would you be tomorrow? A graduate school professor that I had who I really loved said, we are human beings, not human doings. So if we could just be tomorrow, some parameters. You don't have to pay your rent or your mortgage. You don't have to go to work tomorrow. You have no cares in the world. You have no responsibilities to somebody else. How would you spend your time? What is the thing that you would love to spend your time doing? On another sense, who are people that you would love spending time with? You can go either direction. So we could talk about relationships, we could talk about career. Does that make sense? Money is no object, so don't think about how much would I get paid, and don't answer with a job. Answer with a way of being. Arthur was a good example. Arthur said he would sit at home in sort of this introverted state and make himself amused and try to amuse others with his writing. In his sense, he said, with his writing. If you could narrow this down to sort of one word, that would be best. And what I mean by that is that when I did this exercise, I sat back and couldn't really think of anything, and Arthur said, well, he said, what happens in these retreats that you're doing? I said, well, people hear the stories of other people who are like them, and they get some kind of connection to spirituality because of that. And I said, and it gives them a sense of inspiration. And he goes, And he goes, well, what does that say about you? I said, well, I'm the conduit for that. I'm the one who organized that. And I said, and I gave some of the talks, and other people gave some of the talks, and I trained people to do a lot of this. And I said, so yeah, that's about it. And he said, so would you say that if you got up tomorrow and you could be inspiring, that would get you out of bed in the morning and you'd feel really charged up to go on your merry way? And I said, hell yes. And he said, very good, see you later, and walked away. And I was like, no, where are you going? And he said, oh, Michael, do I have to tell you everything? Now go home, and that'll be our next step later on. He goes, and think of all the things that you could do to be inspiring. And we didn't limit ourselves. That's our second step later on, so we'll hold that part. But let's just answer that first step. If you could do anything tomorrow, you can be anything tomorrow, what would that be? Who do you see yourself spending time with? What does that look like?